in my opinion, it's impossible to know the truth in that post-Soviet world, because setting aside the fact that all the documents have been locked away, I think that people's minds have been so traumatized that it's like searching through the fog. And I think that Fyodor took us through a fog of madness, and there's a kernel somewhere in there of truth. But I'm not optimistic that we could ever, in that environment, that we can ever really find a final answer.
I think it's the Bible that says there are none so blind as those who will not see. And it seems to me, in the current situation in Russia, people do not want to know what the facts are.
And that is, I believe that is the part of this film is the fight in dream. That is fight with the ghost of totalitarianism in dream. And if you have victory over the ghost of totalitarianism, this ghost not return. And the problem of this ghost, that totalitarianism, it's communism, it's Nazism, that's identical, absolutely identical, as each people cannot choose, yes, in the situation. And that is problem is the return all time. And if you have answer, that is guilt, and you can answer, I was a communist, I am guilt, for example. Each people can speak about this, not afraid in fog, but in fog live monster. Right. If you have fog, in fog live the monster, and this is monster is ghost of totalitarianism.
That was the power of the reconciliation trials in South Africa, is that people spoke the truth
and cleared away the fog. I would also say, when I started this project, I had the 5-minute plan and a very small budget, and the idea was to interview a few engineers and scientists and get to the bottom of this. And Fyodor looked at me and said, "That's an idiotic idea. We'll never get to the truth. The way to find the truth is to reenact my dreams." And then the first dream is me. I have to build a raft out of mirrors, sail it across a radioactive sea with a torch, naked. And only that way will we get closer to the truth. And I initially thought, that's totally insane. I came here just for 6 days, and we had these engineers. But he said, I'm not going to cooperate and interview these people. They're going to lie anyway. So we made a deal. I would film his dreams, and he would show up for the scientist interviews. And amazingly, we both sort of ultimately fell in love with each other's investigation. And we had parallel investigations for the year. We went all over Ukraine, following him with his torch, naked, with this he's not entirely naked in all of them. He had some cellophane, which is modeled on, cellophane is modeled on the protective gear that they gave to the people who fought the Chernobyl disaster. It didn't really help. And at the end, I didn't know how I was even going to include it in, but I decided that it was really important because it shows Fyodor's unconscious. And only recently, or maybe last week, we had a talk, and I really got it. And he said, "Chad, I wanted us to fight these ghosts. And if you want to fight ghosts, you can only do it in your dreams. You can only do it in the unconscious."
I see that.
So that was an interesting, again, as I said, there's a lot of tensions in this film. And I think in the end, they both sort of animated and illuminated the other.
I agree.
Each of these journeys.